If it's Halloween, it must be Saw. This is the first one in a while, but that used to be the tagline every single year. Let's talk about Saw X. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for Saw X. This is the 10th movie in the franchise, hence the name, and it's currently still playing in theaters. However, it just hit the on-demand circuit as well. So if you're not going to get out to see it before Halloween or whatever, or if it's already done playing where you live, well, you can check it out now on demand. Before we launch into the specifics of the film and my thoughts on it, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do movie and TV reviews here, and I try to post something new just about every day, so there's always something new to check out on the channel here. Please consider subscribing or just like this video, comment down below. All that stuff does help out the channel. And, since there is so much going on with the channel, sometimes it's maybe hard to find the videos you are looking for. I do have handy playlists on the homepage, and there's a playlist for both 2023 films and 2023 horror films. So you can check that out if you are into that kind of stuff, and I assume you probably are if you stumbled upon my Saw X video. So let's talk about this movie. So I'm going to be full disclosure, as I usually am, but, with my movie history when it's something in a franchise and what have you. I've only seen a few of the Saw movies. The first one, I saw the original, the classic, and then I've seen the most recent two, Jigsaw and Spiral, both of which were kind of lackluster for me. The first one, I think, definitely earns its place. But to be honest, the whole gore factor, torture porn, whatever you want to call it, usually does not really work for me. I watch a lot of these movies sort of through the, the small width of my fingers. It's a little too much for me sometimes, but you know what? I'm a trooper. I try to see everything that's big that comes out. So I figure, okay, let's check out Saw X and what that has to offer. And timeline wise, it takes place directly after the first film. It takes place between the first and the second Saw films. So even though I've never seen 2 through 7, I guess, you don't really need to. It is nice to know at least a little bit of the basics to what happens with some of these characters as the story progresses, and I won't spoil that here if you also have not seen those, but I knew at least enough of what happens in the second and the third installments that, nothing was like a surprise to me or anything here. But the basic premise is, so we see John Kramer returning here as, Tobin Bell plays him, and Shawnee Smith returns as well. But John Kramer realizes he only has a short time to live. He's got a bad form of cancer. I mean, they're all bad, of course, but, his is very, very close to the end for him. He's just got a few months left. So he travels to Mexico in the hopes that this experimental treatment will help him. But he realizes soon after that he was scammed and that the operation and the, the people involved are all phony. So he takes it upon himself, as he is known to do in these movies, and does some traps, and it goes from there. All right, look, again, I am not a huge fan of these films just because of, there's a lot of, gore stuff involved, and I don't love I mean, the traps are cool, I will admit, but I think it's a little too far for me for entertainment. But look, this one is getting really good reviews. I think it's probably critically the best reviewed film of the entire series. Here's where I sort of diverge from that a little bit. Just, leaving out maybe some of my stomach turning feelings about these movies. The two things that kind of turned me off of this one, number one, the time that it takes him to, do all these traps and lay all this groundwork seems remarkably quick. And if we're trying to get a sort of real world type of thing, that's very ridiculous. But all right, we can maybe put that aside. It is a horror movie. Maybe not everything needs to be up to snuff. But what I really am confused about is he is essentially the hero of this movie. And it was my understanding that that is not how he's really supposed to be portrayed in these movies. He's kind of the villain, and some could say, okay, well, maybe he's a bit of an anti hero. I don't even think that. I think he's kind of a straight up villain. And so it's a little bit confusing to me. And again, look, I haven't seen all of the movies, but I generally know the basics, and I did see the first one. So I am a little confused, about what I'm supposed to be feeling for this character. Obviously, look, we feel bad, for anybody that has cancer. But in terms of like the character development here, I don't quite understand how I, the viewer, am supposed to feel about this character, because I think they really want us to sympathize with him. And look, I'll give him that he has his code and he typically sticks to it, and I do appreciate that. That may put him sort of in that anti-hero category, but for me, I don't understand why he is supposed to be the hero of this film. I get it. People wronged him. It was not cool. They're all jerks. I got it. But maybe you can enlighten me in the comments if you've seen all of these Saw movies and whatever. And look, I know people that have watched this, the big fans of the Saw series that watched this one and enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said, it's doing well critically. And look, the last one, which was not really, like, it was kind of a spin-off, but obviously they're counting it as that was the ninth movie in the franchise, so this will be the 10th. But it was Chris Rock, and it was like a whole different setup. I actually liked the setup of that film more. I liked maybe even the traps a little bit more. They were also disturbing. These are very, very disturbing, though, as we expect, I guess. But that's what people come to these movies for. This is the entertainment. For me, I guess maybe I'm just not quite getting it. Look, Leonard Maltin, very, very famous movie critic, reviews just about everything. And he was asked in an interview once about, that book that he released every year with all the movies. They were like, oh, you can't watch, all of these movies. And he's like, no, I really generally do. I do have a small staff, but yeah, there's a few movies that I won't watch, and it's like that Saw Hostel, type of movie. I just can't get into, and I can relate. I don't think I'll ever go back and watch the other Saw movies. Since I'm not really doing reviews usually of older movies. And that first one I did like. I mean, I get the hype on that. For me, of the four I've seen, that's by far the best one. All the other ones are kind of middling for me. This one just did not do it for me. I just didn't understand, why we were supposed to have him be the hero of these movies. And Tobin Bell, very, competent actor. He plays the role very well, but I did not like the turn there for that character. So look, I leave Saw X with a C minus. Take this review with a grain of salt. If you are a huge Saw fan, you'll probably feel differently than me. I think we could all agree that the 9th and 10th are pretty mediocre entries, though, or the 8th and 9th rather. Jigsaw and Spiral, pretty mediocre. But for me, this one kind of right down there with it. So C minus is where I leave Saw X. All right, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.